Hey, alright, so I've been watching a lot of videos lately on a YouTube wormhole about the future and how they want to colonize planets and stuff like that. So the thing is, it's a very, very cool and interesting idea, um, imagination wise, and yeah, just everything about it seems really, really cool. The thing is that you've got these planets that, regardless, they're not our habitat and they're uninhabitable. Um, so what they propose is that we live in like little domes that have our atmosphere and stuff. So say this is a little dome, we all live in here and stuff, and we grow our own food, obviously hydroponically or whatever. And yeah, so we're just going to be living in little sort of cells just floating or planted upon this planet that we can't even really roam around or live in, and we still will have to live in suits unless they put a makeshift atmosphere inside these little domes that we end up living in. So, how really feasible and good for the human race is it? Um, think about it for a sec. They're basically just living in like a massive cell. Um, One of them was living on a one of, I think, Venus's moons called Titan, and it was just like a floating cell, just floating in the atmosphere, and they're just gonna have to like link and build in it. So it's just like living forever on like a space station, either planted on top of a um, planet's surface, or just like floating in the air. Um, People are going to go nuts, and it's not our habitat. Um, we, at the moment, have problems when we are stuck working long hours in offices or stuck inside for long hours, such as the pandemic. People were stuck inside for a long time, and a lot of issues. People getting a lot of issues just from being like locked in, and people get, they go crazy because we're meant to be outside in our own habitat. We're meant to be outside enjoying our own planet's fresh air. Um, we actually pay money to go to places to have a break from our makeshift lifestyle that we've made, the 9 to 5, rat race type thing. And people will save all their hard-earned money, whatever they can, actually, when because prices rise and whatnot, and so whatever little bits at the end they end up having, they'll save for years, and they'll go to places just to get away from it, just for a little while, so they can relax. Places like Bora Bora, if they can afford it, Fiji, or just some other place to basically refresh themselves, because we're meant to just live like a normal animal on our own planet, on our own habitat. Um, so yeah, it's a very bizarre thought. I don't think they've really thought it through. It's a very exciting idea, um, but I think they're kind of jumping ahead of themselves, and they sort of haven't looked at that idea, obviously, that it's not very good for people's well-being. Um, so therefore, the well-being of the human race. I mean, living on a place like the moon. I mean, it's cool to discover it and learn more about our solar system. Of course, it's very, very interesting. I mean, it's all stuff that we don't know about, so of course it's interesting. Um, but yeah, it's like a lot of money and thoughts wasted, not even thinking about quality of life, when a lot of what's to progress to that, we aren't even thinking about quality of life here, and we really should be focusing a lot on quality of life here on our own planet. I would think. Um, I mean, we haven't even come anywhere close to world peace. We've got a lot of technology that helps us communicate, um, but that's all it kind of really does. I mean, as amazing as it is now, we've got like handheld devices that we can record things on, record videos and whatnot. Um, a lot of it, I mean, a lot of what Facebook is now like bots just so it can keep its business going. So it's like a lot of it's fake accounts and fake bots and stuff like that. A lot of um, a lot of the internet is just sort of it's just that it's just a basic program for like entertainment, and apart from that, it's for communicating. Um, that's all it really does. It just helps us communicate better. It is a great tool. Don't get me wrong. Um, like I've got friends overseas that I can communicate with, and I'm very grateful for that. Um, but really, that's the best benefit that we have from it. Um, the problem also is with it is that people sort of, there's trolling and stuff, and there's all sorts of negative impacts as well on top of it. So it's not even like respected 100%. Um, and then we've got like the bigger issues in the world, like governments still aren't getting along. There's still governments trying to take over other countries. There's still wars happening. There's still societies fighting over religion and blowing each other up over religion, which is ridiculous and very childish and very old age sort of thought that we don't really need in life anymore. I mean, why can't they just sort of say, hey, we don't know if there's a God yet. We know that we do all want to get along, and we do want a peaceful lifestyle, and we want to be able to share all our resources and be able to get ahead as a society. So why don't we all just put the weapons down and sort of come to a sort of medial term and work as a team as a whole on the planet, um, and then we can better our planet and work forward as a team. And there's a lot of things here on our own planet that we still haven't figured out yet, and who knows how far we can move what we have right here, and we can make it utopia right here. I mean, we basically have it, we're just not utilizing it to its full extent because there's still so much power plays and people hating and trying to destroy each other, and there's greed and stuff taking each other out, and people just want to dominate and whatnot. um, there's still imaginary borders holding people apart from other parts of the world, and it's all kind of childish and stupid. So really we should be focusing on getting over that first. And the money that's going into these projects on going up into space and stuff is astronomical. um, if they do know about UFOs and whatnot, why aren't they just open about them? Why don't they just put solid proof out there? This is actually what we do know, and we want to discover it further. And what we don't know, we know this much about, and we want to actually figure this out, rather than it all just being a whole lot of things and then there being conspiracies about it, and then all this mass confusion, which has been going on for like decades and decades, probably centuries even. I don't know 100% on that, but yeah, why don't they just work on clearing things up here and moving forward here? Um, it only makes sense. So let's just hope that the people that are in charge of all this movement of the world, the governments and all the people behind all these things, decide to have morals and sort of help all these little mysteries clear up and start to work for the better, and stop wasting money on things that really aren't going to be 100% beneficial. Stop putting these little cloaks over what they're doing, and have the world more transparent so we all know what's going on and we can all move forward solidly as a whole, as a race, because there's guaranteed there's a lot of people out there that once they do, they can be like, hey, and they might be able to throw some knowledge in, which would be able to help them, and be able to help move society and the world forward. Um, they might not care about those people at the moment because they want the power and the greed, um, because they want to be able to claim that they've done it themselves and they want to be this be all and end all. But once again, that's the type of mentality that needs to stop. Um, yeah, so that's just my thoughts on the future. Let me know what you think.